after some Nigerians are still basking in the euphoria of the country's 57th independence celebration, but it comes with bittersweet conversations. On the one hand, Nigerians celebrate the freedom to handle their affairs as well as their democracy. But on the other hand, there are complaints of unmet expectations and development. We're still discussing Nigeria at 57 on this episode of Big Story. You're welcome. I'm Ini John Mekwa. The story of Nigeria is an embodiment of 36 units, each with its unique features. These special features have shown bright in some areas. One of such is the entertainment. The story of the entertainment industry started after independence in 1960. The cinema business rapidly expanded, with new cinema houses being established. As a result, Nigerian content in theaters increased in the late 1960s into the 1970s. A turning point for the industry was the indigenization decree of 1972, which declared many sectors of the Nigerian economy off limits to all foreign investment. The decree demanded the transfer of ownership of about a total of 300 film theaters from their foreign owners to Nigerians. This resulted in more Nigerians playing active roles in the cinema and film. The boom was stunted at a point, but picked up again in the 1990s, and the industry has continued to grow till date. For 2016, the National Bureau of Statistics released that the gross domestic product for the art and entertainment industry experienced a growth of 1.86% in the third quarter of the year, contributing 54 billion naira to the country's GDP. The industry is also an employer of labor, with millions engaged in the technicals of producing content. And some industry players have placed the number of weekly release at 50, making Nollywood the second largest film industry globally. An estimated annual revenue of $590 million, according to African Movies News.
What this government has been trying to do all along is to provide that environment that would make for better development and, for our creative industry. Really, our aim is to make sure that we transit from creative industry to a creative economy so that we can really create more jobs, create more wealth. But you see, the role of government in this is to provide an environment, not just in terms of regulation, but also in terms of, assistance, access to funds, and general, support.
However, this does not imply that the industry is at its best. Over the years and at various stages of growth, factors such as unidentified distribution network has plagued the industry for decades and birthed piracy.
Looking at the different physical and distribution platforms that we have there, I looked at it and I said to myself that since the day I started in the music industry, they say Alaba is killing us. I say, where is Alaba? They made it feel like it's a mirage. They even almost made us sell our souls. You carry the whole album to and sell it. But of late, I've been doing research, and I found out that there is no one authenticated, licensed marketer for both movies and music that has a store in Alaba. So that means that distribution physical has not really been made clear to us.
There are many things we believe that are going to help us in fighting piracy also. At the moment, Nigeria migrates from the analog to the digital broadcasting. It will make it possible for artists, whether musicians or, filmmakers, to release their films and their music straight on, on the on the platforms, like video on demand or music on demand, and that's also going to help us in fighting piracy. Of course, we have also made suggestions that they should strengthen, the Copyright Commission. To review the law and probably keep much more stiffer, penalties to pirates. Today, I think it's just like a slap on the wrist, the kind of penalties that provided for pirates. But overall, between the Ministry of Justice, which is where the Copyright Commission actually resides, my ministry and the stakeholders, I'm sure we are going to address this. Recently, at the launch of at the ceremony marking the signing of the MOU between the ministry and the Tony Odomole Foundation, we agreed that we should not leave fighting of piracy to the police or to the NCC alone. There should be a joint effort, and I think the idea went very well. Actually, it was suggested by one of the stakeholders that we should have, a police force that will be dedicated to fighting piracy, just like we have a force, fighting, illicit drugs and the like. And I said, fine. But since we are the major stakeholders, why don't we assist the police? Just the same way as Lagos State government, set up the Security Trust Fund, to combat crime. So if we stakeholders can put together enough resources, I'm sure the police will be very willing to assist us. So these are some of the things we put in place.
Nigeria also prides itself with the development in the transportation and storage sector, which comprises 6 activities: road transport, rail transport and pipelines, water transport, air transport, transport services, and post and courier services. The sector grew by 19.69% nominally in the third quarter of 2016 year-on-year. This rate was 5.80 points higher in the corresponding quarter of 2015.